Anonymous. Is it fair to say mean things when angry? Parentheses, for any reason.
Yeah. I saw that and I immediately thought about, okay, what mean things? What are mean things? I think, with somebody, sometimes you say stuff that you don't mean, but there's a fine line. There's a hard line between, saying something that, something silly and stuff like that, or saying something that is really, really inappropriate. I have one big rule. I don't curse at my partner. I don't call them names, the B word, the C word. None of that stuff is okay for me. I've never said that, and to any of my relation, and none of my partners, I never said that. So I think that's not acceptable at all. That's a huge red flag. I know right now we're talking about red flags are like trending right now. Red flag if they curse at you, if they scream at you, if they make you feel insignificant, bashing you, gaslighting you in that way. That's not okay at all. It's a red flag. You got to put from the beginning when you meet this person. You got to say, hey, listen, or even it's a common understanding like, hey, listen, I will never disrespect you in that way. Because if they do that, what else are they going to do? Now you're chipping away at that relationship, at that foundation. So, that cursing, yelling, none of that stuff is okay with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Establish a boundary. Make sure that you have that understanding up front, so then you know what you're willing to, tolerate and what you're not.
Right.
And then what your partner is now going to either take advantage of, I guess not intentionally, but maybe it can be if you're not fully communicating and understanding what the boundary is. But yes, that's actually really good. For me, no, there should never be a reason. And it's unfortunate that we can't be in control of our own emotions. I mean, we're adults, and for us to, I'd like to think that we're all adults, how we act.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that if you're going to be committed to someone, that you love someone, that you can justify being so upset that you have to insult them. Or what is it that she said? Say mean things when you're angry. As long as you're always communicating and having that proper comprehension, how we always preach, there should never be an issue or a situation where you have to cross the line. Because you can be upset, but can you still portray the same message by not insulting the person?
Yes.
Like, what are you going to try to accomplish? If anything, you may just make it worse by saying mean things that have nothing to do with the problem at hand. So it's like, identify what the real problem is. If we're saying that this is the problem, there's no need to call me an asshole. There's no need to call me a douchebag.
Yeah.
Let's identify whatever it is. Or I'm not going to call you the B word. I'm not going to call you whatever other thing, because that's not going to help solve the problem. And at the end of the day, in relationships, we've said it before, the problem is not you against your relationship or your partner. It is the relationship together, you and your partner, against the problem.
100%.
So as long as that's together, I don't see why there should be. And if there ever is, dude, like, you're an adult. You're in control of your actions. You're in control of what you say. If you're able to tell yourself to stand up and walk, you're able to tell yourself, hey, let me type this in an email. Let me say this to someone. You're well in control of what not to say as well.
I think very well said. Also, it's very important sometimes to remove yourself from that situation. If you're upset to the point, it's okay to say, hey, babe, you know what? I don't see eye to eye with you right now. I'm gonna walk away, and we'll carry on this discussion at a later time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or, before I say something that I might regret, I'd rather not say anything at all. I think we live in a world where everybody's so connected. You can call them, you can email them, you could send them a message, a voice note. And sometimes we're in the heat of the moment where we say stuff that later on, like,
let me do it now.
Exactly.
I'm feeling it now. Let me tell them now.
And
sometimes it makes more sense to say,
take a step back. Let me get a breather. Let me maybe get something to eat, go to sleep, take a nap. I'm tired.
To add to that, it's also important to be empathetic. Having empathy.
Yeah.
Would I want my partner to talk to me this way?
Yeah.
Would I want them to treat me this way? Would I want to be called this? How do I feel if I were to be called what I called my partner?
Would I talk to my mother like that? My sister, my son, my daughter, my grandma? A lot of times, no, you wouldn't, because your parents wouldn't tolerate it. You wouldn't want to be called that way. So why do you think it's okay to call your spouse or your partner or whoever like that?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, just treat people how you want to be treated. Yes. And we make the mistake of expecting people to treat us how we treat them. Unfortunately, that's like a false expectation, because the world doesn't work that way. But I feel like if you selflessly want to do good and you have good intention, you may not be treated the same, but I feel like you can always, hold your head up high knowing that you are true to who you are and you didn't, change for anybody or whatever.
Yeah.